welcome to Con Daily. I'm Heidi McDonald, the editor-in-chief of the Beat Comics, beat.com, and welcome to Inside the Con. We have assembled a panel of only the most knowledgeable, the most insider, the most opinionated people to tell you what the hell is actually going on at Comic-Con. You will only get the inside scoop right here. So joining us, we have the one and only Rob Liefeld. Rob, hey.
So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Rob, a little bit of a big day.
Big weekend. It's finally here.
Deadpool, Wolverine tonight, Hall
Yes,
H.
yes,
A lot
yes.
going on. We're going to come back to that.
Okay.
Behind you, I'm sorry, we are not othering David, but it is his first Comic-Con, so we did put him in the back. David.
Sorry, David.
Yeah, sorry, David. David Harper of Sketched, Eisner Award nominee this year. David, welcome.
Good
Welcome
stuff.
to
Good stuff.
Inside the
Big
Con.
fan.
And of course, our lovely host, Yael Tygiel, who knows everything that goes on.
Love it.
So, okay, yeah. So we are here to just, what's going on? So Rob, tell us about your Comic-Con. What are you doing? Like today is this a huge day for you.
It is.
You stopped by
I
with
didn't
us.
know how what a big deal. I mean, this celebration of Deadpool Wolverine later tonight. I got told like 5 minutes before they announced it that I had 2 tickets to this thing. I'm like, two tickets to what? And then it went, that's what it is. And then my friend today said, those tickets are scalping for $400 right now online. And I'm like, that's insane. And everybody I saw in the gas lamp last night, I didn't get in, Liefeld, or I won. I never win anything. So I think it's just going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy. And Heidi, when I was 14 months ago, I have never kept such good secrets. I have proven all 3 movies. I see stuff and I go, I really want to talk about this. Clamp it. And last June, I was in London watching this movie be filmed in Pinewood going, we're doing that? Oh my gosh, fans are going to flip on this. And I can't say crap to anybody. And I wanted to weigh in on some of the ridiculous rumors, but I'm like, no, if I weigh in on that, then I'm going to get in trouble. Let them think that so-and-so is, but it's so great that the plane has landed. It's here. Based on the premiere Monday night, people went nuts. They literally, everything hit. They couldn't, I'm sure they're so excited. I think it is a love letter to the fans. It is a love letter to the fans.
So, but I think people are just so eager to have something like, beloved like Deadpool. And,
Yes.
and I mean, now with Wolverine.
Hugh's
Deadpool
back.
added Wolverine. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
How are we not going to love that?
Yes, you are going to love it.
Yeah, so it's a huge
Very
lot of
exciting.
excitement. Again, thank you for coming by here. All right, David.
Yes.
This is your first Comic-Con.
Yes.
Now, David, in case you don't know, he does a website called Sketch that writes all about the comics industry. You do podcasts with everybody. Have you ever had Rob on your podcast?
We talked when I wrote a feature for The Ringer about the 25th anniversary of Image.
So,
that ran his podcast.
I'm sure he'll be
Great
a guest
people.
oh, there you go. He'll be a guest in the future. But yes, you are here to tell us what's going on at Comic-Con.
What is going on?
Tell us about your first day, day 0, preview day. What happened?
Preview night is like an experience you cannot even imagine if you've never been here. You go in, and the con is like a regular con, except for it stretches into infinity. The show floor is magnificent and insane and overwhelming and spectacular. And it's really incredible just seeing the energy and the buzz and everything that's going on. I mean, I do have to say, I am actually one of the lucky lottery winners for the Deadpool Wolverine panel. So I will be going tonight.
All right, see you there.
Yeah, I will see Rob there.
Damn you.
I mean, as far as what's going on so far, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's just, the energy is back. I heard like last year was a little calmer. This year, it's absolutely insane. The activations are out of control. I went for a run at 7 in the morning this morning along the promenade, and there's lines, hundreds of people along for everything.
Speaking of the activations, you and I checked some of them out yesterday. And, look, I don't want to put down anybody. Sometimes when I see people waiting for hours in the hot sun, and then I actually see it, I'm like, and other times I'm like, oh my God, that was the greatest thing ever. So, I will say this. Okay, we went to the Paramount Lodge. That was pretty hopping.
Yes, I think that the Paramount Plus Lodge that they did this year and as well as last year's was phenomenal.
Yeah.
They put on an incredible activation. I'm very particular about activations. They need to have an activity to do and swag. And I think that is what makes an activation the best. And it's so for people who've never been, the activations are different studios and TV networks put on activities and photo ops and give out prizes and swag, and the best ones obviously have food and drink. But the Lodge, so far, my favorite of this year. Adult Swim disappointed me, I'm gonna be honest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can't miss it.
The color scheme of the pink and the green is really phenomenal. It's based on Rick and Morty. Look, I'm not a big Rick and Morty fan. I mean, let's just be honest. But I know a lot of people are. But there's octopus imagery. They have some sea creatures. There's a pirate theme. All things I love. It looks phenomenal.
The whole activation is photo ops.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. I just want more.
Yeah.
I guess I'm greedy.
Well, I did get a cool photo op, but the photo op would have been so much better
If you had a bandana.
if I had a bandana on. So, I mean, they gave me a Rick and Morty pool float, but I live in New York. I don't have a pool, and what am I going to do with the pool float? Okay, so some lucky viewer might get that pool float,
Dibs.
maybe.
We went to the Shaun of the Dead 20th anniversary one, the Winchester. They recreated
Oh,
the bar from
okay.
it, and they were actually giving out beer that was branded for Shaun of the Dead. And also they had like all kinds of special merch and everything. And it was really cool. You go in there, you're part of the experience. It's very experiential. You get your pictures, you do all that stuff. And as a first timer, I mean, that type of stuff is way different than other cons. The experiential stuff is completely different.
They are incredibly elaborate. And I feel like just looking, like there's this whole row of these activations that are so elaborate, so huge. I feel like this is a bigger than ever reason for people to come to Comic-Con is to have these activations.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what had the longest one? Abbott Elementary.
It's crazy long.
It's
The-
crazy
they're-
long.
It is super busy. It
So
is.
they're doing a ABC and FX, and there's a third one, a whole activation for all of them together. And the Abbott Elementary and the Bear Restaurant are the ones that people are talking about the
yeah.
most.
The Bear. Word on the street is there's going to be a chariot race.
Yes, for the new NBC shows.
When is this?
Classic Comic-Con.
Yeah, classic comic. Yeah, there's going to be a chariot race at some point here. So, yeah, that's great. Rob, do you ever get to go to activations?
So it's funny you mention it because my family, who I've been bringing since they were, 2 and 4 and 6, they fell in love with activations. And the Severance one from 3 years ago and House of Dragon from 2 years ago are particular high points for us. We all just talk about it. And like you said, you had an activity. The House of Dragon was crazy. Outside, there were the knights fighting, and it really felt like you were in the village. And you got to go in the castle, and everyone got an egg, and you had to heat up the egg, and you got the dragon's breath, and then at the end you get to pick your picture on the throne. I mean, it was crazy great. It was crazy
You
great.
didn't have to have a bloody childbirth.
No. But like a great activation can just give you the best memory.
Yes.
It really can. And I mean, all of my adult children now have that stuff, and they go, "Oh, the Severance one was so great."
The Severance one was so great.
So great. So a great activation is just worth its weight in gold. And so when I hear that there's some that are limp, that's unfortunate.
Well, I look, I don't want to say that. Again, I really enjoyed walking around the Adult Swim one, and I think when you go there as a fan, like after you stand in line, I think you're going to enjoy it. There are things to do there. I just didn't do the things, and maybe if you did them,
I mean, if you live and breathe Rick and Morty and you get a bandana.
yeah.
Life
Well,
changing.
oh, the bandana! Why did you bring
I'm
up
sorry,
the
sorry,
damn
Sorry about that,
bandana?
Heidi. Sorry about that.
What else are you looking forward to doing here at your first Comic-Con?
I am looking, well, I mean, to be honest, the fact that it's my first Comic-Con and I'm going to a Hall H panel for this celebration of life of Deadpool and Wolverine, I mean, the fact that it's called a celebration of life,
Ring the bell.
I am ready to just bathe in the pure energy
Yeah.
that's going to be taking place in that room. So that's probably number one. But also, I mean, I'm really interested. I want to get my hands on the Batman Ashcan Absolute Batman from DC.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And just see what they're doing with
Sure.
that, because this could be a game-changing thing for DC, and having that set up here seems like a really big deal. And I mean, as a comic fan, that's got to be high on my list.
Yes, David, you bring up a good point. Absolute Batman. DC's relaunching their line, or not? They say it's not a relaunch; it's an initiative. But they call it a good jumping on point. A good jumping on point. And Rob, I know you and I, we gossip a little bit sometimes,
Sure.
from time to time. Do you think the industry needs more jumping on points?
I actually do. I mentioned this. I can timestamp this with my podcast last week. I'm all in on DC. All in, absolute DC. Let's give it a shot. I just think that right now you can feel the fever. Is everyone is curious for something new. There comes a time in the business you can just tell, and everyone wants to check something new out and something fresh. I think it's the right thing at the right time. I think Marvel relaunching the X-Men was the right thing at the right time. You know, it's a lot of books. You know, hopefully some land where they're supposed to land, because for me, I'm like, I can't chase all these books. But the DC stuff, it's a good sample size starting off. I'm excited. I think it looks cool. I think it looks cool.
I think it's a really interesting time in comics, and like with Absolute, which is basically relaunching the DC universe from a different perspective and making it easy to jump on. And then there's like the Energon universe with Transformers,
Yes.
with G.I. Joe, and with the Ultimate Universe with Marvel. There's all these lines that are basically designed to make it easier for people to get excited and to read comics and to feel that energy and just have something that's their own. And I think that if DC can do that, if they can tap into that energy, I think it's huge. Also, great art.
Yes, they do. They have a really great teams on these books, so we're all pulling for it.
I gotta give a shout out to the most exciting for me. I'm gonna age myself. You're all gonna be like, "What's up with the old dude?" But finally, this property is so beloved. It's culty, but it's gonna get a new wave of people because everybody who is my age is already begging to do work and covers. I called Nick Barucci. I said, "You got Thundar the Barbarian." Half of your people just said, "Who the hell is Thundar the Barbarian?" You're going to find out who Thundar the Barbarian is. I was a kid that two great best seasons of cartoons ever, Jack Kirby and freaking Alex Toth, genius work, design, storytelling. I tried to get the license. Jim Lee tried to help me get the license about 6 years ago. Nobody could land that plane. Nick Barucci, I don't know what he did. But they are his licensing, the Thundercats. I know firsthand. I swam in those waters, and it was like, wow! Like the fan base is there. Like you said, the Energon stuff coming out from Image, Thundercats. You got Battle of the Planets. My 1970s youth is now hitting the stands. Early 80s. So these licenses, Space Ghost.
Oh, wow.
Who knew that they would be so well received? But it's like a whole new age.
Well, I mean, there's a reason some of these last, when
Yeah.
Space Ghost has so many different versions. I mean, it's a really great
Yeah.
example of how it becomes, reinvented, and just like Deadpool, reinvented constantly.
Hey, Mr. Ryan, Mr. Ryan Reynolds.
Here, look, Rob,
Yes.
you got to get a little dish here. I mean,
Okay.
do you think Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman really like each other? I mean, are they friends?
They love each other. No. I can't believe they're still standing given this month-long tour. And I'm like, did they clone them? Have they been cloned? Because how are they in Germany and Brazil? And I know private jets and all that stuff, but it is crazy. I talked to a Disney publicist who's like, I'm tapping out here in New York, and the West Coast team is carrying on. I can't go any further. It is wearing these people.
Okay, and here's actually the weirdest thing about it all. It's like Ryan Reynolds legit likes wearing that suit.
He does. No, he loves Deadpool. Look, Deadpool was a transformational role for him.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
we know some actors, when they put on the mask, they find it very confining. And it's, actually dressing up like a superhero isn't the most comfortable thing to do.
No.
But Reynolds, he seems like he'll just
And
do it at home.
he wants you to know that he's doing it and not some stand-in stunt guy and he's doing the voiceover. He wants you to know, I'm here, I'm earning it, I'm earning the love and respect. And look, Hugh can't not be, his face is there, his physique, and he crushed it. I couldn't believe, on one take, they were like, you gotta butter Hugh's biceps, and they get the oil and they butter. I couldn't believe how giant he was. He came out of that trailer just like he had done, and he was massive. And they're like, in between takes, people run over and they oil him up, and the guns are even bigger and glistening. And no, man, he knew in his heart that he wasn't done with Wolverine, and we are the beneficiaries because he brings gravitas every time. He's so
had
great.
that one last. All right, well, we're about to wrap up. I'm sorry, Rob, since you're a special guest here at Inside the Con.
I'm a special guest.
Yeah, but when you were in the Image Revolution, you told an anecdote about Todd. Todd's coming by here, and we have a little watch to give him. What do you think?
I think he'll love it because he'll be like, finally, a watch! A watch! I want a watch! That was his rallying cry when he dragged us into that meeting. I'm like, I'm already leaving. Why are we here? And he wanted to tell Terry Stewart, when my dad left The industry, they gave him a what? He will find the uniqueness in this, for sure.
But incredible. Before we go, Yael, anything else about con, inside the con? Anything else to tell our viewers?
Yes, you didn't get a bandana. You won the raffler going to the panel. I am not going to the panel, and I am upset about it.
Okay.
We'll tell you all about it on the next.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what. Tomorrow on Inside the Con, we're going to hear what happened. Just what happened at the celebration of life. Anyway, I'm Heidi McDonald.
I'm Yael Tygiel.
Thank you, Rob Liefeld, David Harper. And this is Inside the Con.